You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Monday, 28th day of April, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast is our live training room. That's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not yet taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. And at the top of the page, there's a purple button. Click it, fill out the form. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today, and your trial will officially begin tomorrow. But don't worry, you'll still get 5 consecutive trading days. The weekend does not count against you. When the live training room ends at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways to join the afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. This time, scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. In the email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email. It will automatically log you into our platform. The benefit there is you'll have access to the question box so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And some days you'll be busy, you can't join live, but you'll want to catch up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN, Christian Financial Radio Network. But you don't have to remember all that. Just youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,800 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. youtube.com/CFRN. This is our schedule for the afternoon broadcast each day. So we're going to dive into our devotional, and this will be the final day on the Holy Week and Easter. Yes, I know that has come and gone, but this was an 8-day devotional. We got a late start. We had a couple interruptions, but today we wrap it up. And our scripture today, Matthew 28, verses 1 through 20. And I'm going to share it with you from the Message translation. Beginning in verse 1. After the Sabbath, as the first light of the new week dawned, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to keep vigil at the tomb. Suddenly the earth reeled and rocked under their feet as God's angel came down from heaven, came right up to where they were standing. He rolled back the stone and then sat on it. Shafts of lightning blazed from him. His garments shimmered snow white. The guards at the tomb were scared to death. They were so frightened they couldn't move. The angel spoke to the woman. There is nothing to fear here. I know you're looking for Jesus, the one they nailed to the cross. He's not here. He was raised just as he said. Come and look at the place where he was placed. Now, get on your way quickly and tell his disciples. He is risen from the dead. He is going on ahead of you to Galilee. You'll see him there. That's the message. The women, deep in wonder and full of joy, lost no time in leaving the tomb. They ran to tell the disciples. Then Jesus met them, stopping them in their tracks. "Good morning," he said. They fell to their knees, embraced his feet, and worshiped him. Jesus said, "You're holding on to me for dear life. Don't be frightened like that. Go tell my brothers that they are to go to Galilee and that I'll meet them there." Meanwhile, the guards had scattered, but a few of them went into the city and told the high priest everything that had happened. They called a meeting of the religious leaders and came up with a plan. They took a large sum of money and gave it to the soldiers, bribing them to say his disciples came in the night and stole the body while we were sleeping. They assured them, "If the governor hears about your sleeping on duty, we'll make sure you don't get blamed." The soldiers took the bribe and did as they were told. That story, cooked up in the Jewish High Council, is still going around. Meanwhile, the 11 disciples were on their way to Galilee, headed for the mountain Jesus had set for their reunion. The moment they saw him, they worshiped him. Some, though, held back, not sure about worship and risking themselves totally. Jesus, undeterred, went right ahead and gave his charge. "God authorized and commanded me to commission you. Go out and train everyone you meet, far and near, in this way of life, marking them by baptism in the threefold name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Then instruct them in the practice of all I have commanded you. I'll be with you as you do this, day after day after day, right up to the end of the age." Again, that was Matthew 28, verses 1 through 20. Death is not the end of the story for Jesus of Nazareth. As the firstborn of new creation, Colossians 1:15, and the heir of all things, Hebrews 1:2, he is showing humanity that death is not the end of our story either. It's a brutal and mysterious part of our story. But in the light of Christ, we can believe that our life does not end in earthly death. God's love carries us through, and death loses its sting in the face of Jesus' resurrection promise. This is the indestructible life we celebrate on Easter Sunday, the life of Jesus. 3 days after Jesus' execution, 2 women from among Jesus' disciples find out that the tomb's stone has been moved. The seal is broken, and Jesus' body is gone. An angelic man says Jesus has risen, and he urges the women to tell the other disciples. Jesus is alive and heading north, and he plans to meet his disciples in Galilee. Jesus meets with his followers, showing them his wounds and letting them touch his resurrected body. According to Luke's version of the story, when Jesus first sees the disciples, he asks them if they have any leftovers to share. They give him some fish, and he chats with them over a meal. Luke 24:41. Jesus passed through death and returned to life as a walking, talking, living human being who was hungry for some leftovers. He is the firstborn of humanity in the new creation. And he tells his disciples that he's going to give them the same divine power that sustains him, so they can go out and share the good news of resurrection and the unending love of God's kingdom with people throughout the world. Jesus sends the disciples out to all families of the earth with this good news. Everyone can join Jesus' kingdom by turning away from their fear of death and turning toward his love and following his way of life. On Easter Sunday, followers of Jesus celebrate with joy. Jesus has risen, and his new creation has begun. Happy Easter. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the power of the empty tomb and the promise of new life. Help us to walk boldly in the truth that you are alive and with us always. Strengthen us to go and make disciples, teaching and loving as you have commanded. We rejoice today because you have overcome the grave. It's in the victorious name of Jesus we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen, and happy Monday. Been kind of quiet since the markets opened last night. So let's get to the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices, as they're called. The Dow's down 104 points. The Nasdaq's down 218. That's 1.25%. S&P 500 is down 42. The Russell 2000 down 6. In the commodity basket, crude oil down $1.17, trading 61.87 last. That's a drop of almost 2%, or $1,150 per contract traded. Gold up $42, trading 33.40 last. That's a gain of 1.25%. And silver is down a penny, trading $33 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 134 points. Shanghai dropped 6. The Hang Seng down 8. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 2, the DAX up 29, the CAC up 37. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK, but so far it is a red radio Monday here in the US of A. So let's look at the news. An assailant rammed a car into a Filipino heritage festival in Vancouver Saturday, killing at least 11 people and wounding dozens more. The detained suspect, a 30-year-old man, was known to police and had a history of mental health incidents. Authorities say the attack was a lone incident and have ruled out terrorism as a motive. Well, tell that to the 11 people that lost their life. Up to 100,000 people attended this year's Lapu-Lapu Day Festival. The annual gathering honors Datu Lapu-Lapu, the chief of the island of Mactan, who defeated Spanish forces in 1521, later becoming the first Filipino hero. Filipinos are a relatively large immigrant group in Canada, comprising 10% of the country's immigrant population. The attack took place at 8:14 p.m. local time when a black SUV plowed into the crowd of festival goers. Crowd members captured the suspect, later handing him over to police. The attack is the latest in a string of deadly car ramming assaults over the past decade. Hundreds of thousands of mourners gathered in and around Vatican City to bid farewell to Pope Francis on Saturday, almost a week after the 88-year-old pontiff passed away following a stroke and subsequent heart failure. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Francis will be laid to rest in a tomb in Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major. In the coming weeks, the secretive process to select the next pope, known as a conclave, will begin. Francis's successor must secure a 2/3 majority of 135 voting eligible cardinals, of whom he appointed 108 during his tenure. Observers say the race is wide open with no clear frontrunner. And Canadians are heading into the polls today for their first federal election in a decade without former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the ballot. Recent polls show Liberal Prime Minister Mark Carney with a narrow lead over Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Carney's been in power since last month, selected by the Liberal Party to replace Trudeau after his resignation. Poilievre, an ideological ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, campaigned on a national populist agenda, pledging to put Canada first and defund the country's public broadcaster. That sounds familiar. All right, what do we got on Wall Street? U.S. and China tariff tensions continue to dominate the focus, with signs of de-escalation mounting even as President Trump sent mixed signals on the state of relations. It was reported today that Asian economies like South Korea, Japan, and India are taking the lead in trade talks with Trump's administration, while China pledges additional support for tariff-hit exporters. Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. From Bloomberg, Alphabet, parent company of Google, is offering about $4 billion of U.S. high-grade corporate bonds, according to people with knowledge of the matter. The company is looking to sell debt in as many as 4 parts. One of the people said, the longest portion of the sale, a 40-year bond, may yield between 1 percentage point and 1.05 percentage points more than treasuries, according to the person who asked not to be identified, as the details are private. Yeah, some people just can't keep a secret, can they? The bond sale marks Alphabet's first since 2020, when it sold $10 billion of debt in 6 parts. 3 parts of that offering were marked as sustainability bonds. Alphabet is also lining up a debut euro debt offering and is targeting as many as 5 notes in the currency with maturities as far out as 29 years, according to a different person with knowledge of the sale, who of course asked not to be identified because the information is private. Representatives from Mountain View, California-based Alphabet, weren't immediately available to comment outside of normal business hours on the west coast of the U.S. Big Oil has a powerful ally in the White House, but the first quarter of Donald Trump's presidency was a real test for companies' plans. The rest of the year could be even tougher. The U.S. leader's desire for lower crude prices and his disruption of the global economy with trade tariffs is stressing the industry's finances, calling into question both shareholder returns and drilling plans. Of the 5 global oil majors that report earnings next week, British Petroleum plc is a first in line and the most expected or the most exposed to recent volatility. Even before Trump's trade war, the company's debt was rising, and it had told investors to expect a reduction in quarterly share buybacks of as much as $1 billion. Remember, oil needs to be over $70 for these oil companies to be profitable. And last, again from Bloomberg, criminals are hijacking online brokerage accounts in Japan and using them to drive up penny stocks around the world. The wave of fraudulent trading has reached 100 billion yen. That's about $710 million. Since it started in February and shows no signs of cresting. The scams typically use the hacked accounts to buy thinly traded stocks both domestically and overseas, allowing anyone who has built up a position earlier to cash out at inflated values. In response, some Japanese security firms have stopped processing buy orders for certain Chinese, U.S., and Japanese stocks. 8 of the country's biggest brokers, including Rakuten Securities and SBI Securities, have reported unauthorized trading on their platforms. The breaches have exposed Japan as a potential weak point in efforts to safeguard global markets from hackers. They also threaten to undermine the Japanese government's push to get more people to invest for their retirement, particularly since some victims say they are baffled as to how their accounts were broken into, and the securities companies have so far largely refrained from covering the losses. Oh my. And of course, in this left-leaning news world in which we live, there's no article about Caroline Levitt. She sued The View for, are you ready? $800 million. Ready for this? She won. Ha! Oh, wonder what kind of smirk and smear the ladies of The View, especially Whoopi, will have today. Mm, mm, mm. They knew they were pushing the limit, but they just kept pushing. And God bless Caroline for pushing back. I suspect CBS is going to find a way to get rid of that show. Yeah, pretty quick, I'm guessing. Certainly has no value of any kind. All right, Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. It's not just E-minis, but also crude, gold, and silver. We're in week 352 now, and we've issued over 19,400 individual handcrafted alerts, and we've averaged on a weekly basis 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Since the markets opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern through 6:30 a.m. Eastern this morning when Valerie did the recap, we issued a total of 14 alerts. At the time of the recap, we were still waiting on the outcome of 8. That gave us 6 actionable alerts, of which 1, or 17%, would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders. We closed out last week with 11%, and I think the week previous was 8%. So, things have been pretty good. Now, we're early in the week, and we're in earnings season, so expect volatility at the bell. In fact, there's some big names reporting this week, so I probably won't publish the CTAs until after the open, just in case there's any gaps. Every logic alert has an entry price, an initial target, quite often additional targets, and a final trade to target. The purpose of the alerts is to help you learn how to read a chart. The logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. Now, long before there was a Logic 247, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, and they're different. Number one, they don't come out around the clock. They're published as a static report shortly before or shortly after the Globex open. Last night I got them out 2 minutes after the open. Thursday I got them out at 5:55. Wednesday I got them out at 5:55. Tuesday I waited because we had some reporting at the bell. If you're a member or a trial member, read this information, make sure you understand it. So, what this means is that last night, 2 minutes after the Monday session began at 6 p.m. Eastern, all members and all trial members had all of these targets. The S&P, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. But as I mentioned earlier, it's been kind of a quiet session. So let us go to the daily chart of the S&P and take a look. There we are, straddling that 50% reverse fib. Now, in an uptrend, you draw your fibs from the low to the high. In a downtrend, you draw your fibs from the high to the low. So we had a leg and a retracement, leg and a retracement, leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, and then a leg. Okay, and this leg found support at the 24% fib retracement. It took us 2 days to close above the BBC. We traded above it on the 23rd, but we closed just below it. This would have been Thursday, where we closed right at the 50. Friday was a bit of a nothing burger, and today, again, kind of quiet, but we've got support times 2 right here, support right here, and support right here at the 38% reverse fib. The green line is called the BBC. It stands for bull-bear cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. Above the green line, higher prices. Pretty simple. Now, price always reverts to the mean, and in our case, the mean is green, and as I just said, it's called the BBC. When price pulls back to the BBC, whether it pulls back from above or pulls up from below, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. Held and it held and it held and it held till it didn't. Then it held and it held and it held and it held until it didn't. So now we're back above the BBC. We got blue and climbing below us. We're sitting a perfect stage right here for a turnaround Tuesday, which we actually had last week. We had a turnaround Tuesday last week. Now, support is at the low of today, obviously. The low of Friday, 54.80 and a quarter. Then right here, basically 54.60, 61. That's support times 2. A retracement to the VVC, we expect that to be support until proven otherwise. And a retracement to the step line, the black line. We expect that to be support until proven otherwise. So you got like 4 layers here. 5 really, if you want to count that low, which you should. So we'll see. We'll see where we close today. That'll be important. Okay. Will buyers come in and rally this thing up? Now, I pointed this out last week. We got a gap here, which did we fill it here? What's this high? 55, 78, 75. And this candle closed at 55.84.50. 55.84.50 versus 55.78.75. So we haven't quite closed it yet. But when we do close it, that's potential resistance. So you know where support is, you know where resistance is. Institutional traders, the deep pockets that move price, they look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. It has everything to do with account size. So whether you trade futures or stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs, doesn't matter. what I recommend that you do is just spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever it is you're about to trade. One, it gives you a free look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that move price, which gives you an opportunity to kind of go with the flow as opposed to swimming upstream or against the current. And you're also able to identify where major areas of support and resistance are that you won't be able to see on your smaller time frame. All alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes, it's just the time frame I chose. Many years ago, they say if it's not broke, leave it alone. So I have. Now these are last week's zones because these alerts and the logic alerts all went out last night. The new weekly trading zones don't come out till Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. So on tomorrow's broadcast, you'll see this week's zones on my chart. But all the alerts that have been issued so far were based on last week's zones. That's how it is every week, okay? Again, the vertical line separates today Monday, back here's Friday, back here's Thursday. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support till proven otherwise. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance till proven otherwise. Resistance will send the market looking for support right there. Here we managed to get above the weekly zone. That means, now price is always trying to get to a weekly trading zone, and it did. Okay. And then we had this little dip on Friday, but we pretty much rallied into the close on Friday, giving us a bit of a gap lower open last night. And as you can see, we have hit the short target. We hit the zone from last week. We spiked it, okay, but we didn't quite make it up to the target. But there was plenty of room up here. Get your goal for the day. 55.66 up to 55.76. There's 10 points up, more than 10 points up here in this wick. Now that was the Wall Street open. So we had to run up, but by the time the 30 minutes were over, we were back sitting right on top of last week's highest weekly trading zone. Now, only 3 things happen when price encounters a weekly zone. 70% of the times, consolidation. 20% of the times, rejection. 10% of the time, the slice. So after the open, we consolidated at the zone. Blue and climbing turned to red and falling, and it's about to cross the BBC, okay? And it's taken us right down to the short target, pretty much to the tick. See right here, where the step line crossed red and falling on Friday? That's this target right here, okay? So we've hit it. Once the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance. So we may get a bounce up to the step line. Maybe we get a bounce up here. If we do, then that's resistance times 2. On the Dow, gap lower open. We get below the BBC. Got red and falling overhead. Takes us right down to last week's zone. These are the zones that were published last Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Support will send the market looking for resistance. We overcame the long target. And, okay, this is Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. 45.59, 45.65. if you look at the logic alert on this trade, you'll see that this area right here was one of the additional targets. Okay, it's right there in the logic 247 channel for you to see. Now blue and climbing has turned to red and falling. We've gotten below the BBC, and so overnight we found support at last week's zone. We'll see what happens when we get there now, because I think that's where we're heading. On the Russell, here's where we opened last night. You can see that little wick. It reached up and touched the zone, almost touched the zone. It didn't quite touch it. The zone was 63 and the high of this candle was 62.60. Okay, we missed it by 4 ticks. Blue and climbing rolled over. We got below the BBC, and along with red and falling, it took us right down to the short target. See where red turned to blue? Boom. Support. Now we got to go find resistance. We overcome the BBC, leg, and then a retracement, pullback holes, leg and a retracement, a leg, resistance, and a retracement. This leg gets us over the zone, up to the target, and we actually took out this high. Monday, Friday, Thursday. This Wednesday high, we took it out by a little bit, but it quickly rolled over. Blue and climbing became red and falling. We're now below the BBC, and with red and falling overhead, this low right here, you see where the blue line got above the green line? That's called a bullish cross. When you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area, as it did. Look at the horizontal line on my cursor. A bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area, will almost always be good support. And it was pretty much to the tick. Now we're printing a green candle, but we got resistance times 2 right here, again here, and again here. Okay, so hit the short target, hit the long target. The NQ, here's where we opened last night. Gap lower open, came down to the BBC, made it to the zone, and then consolidated for quite a few hours. Then red and falling turned to blue and climbing, so we got a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, leg and a retracement, and then a leg, and then a retracement. But blue and climbing on that retracement turned to red and falling, so that gets us below the BBC. This is the slice through the zone. Now typically, when a 30-minute candle slices through a zone like it's not even there, typically price will retrace back to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. Now this was a green candle all the way up to here. So we missed it by a little bit. But now red and falling has crossed the BBC, okay, and we have hit the short target. From this support, now this support, as you can see, right here with the step line cross red and falling to the tick. So now we're going to bounce. We'll either find support or resistance here at the step line, most likely, or red and falling, which is at last week's zone, and then just above that, the BBC. Okay. Remember, when price drops to a zone, we expect support, 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 support. And when price rallies up, we expect resistance till proven otherwise. Crude oil. Now, crude opened last night like a rocket ship, and it got all the way to there. You see this high right here. Monday, Friday, Thursday, on Wednesday. We had a high. Can I get a pop-up? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. 63.94. What was this high? 63.92. So we failed to take out this high by 2 pennies. That, of course, is bearish, and you can see price quickly retraced to the BBC. We caught a little bounce, but then we got a leg that took us all the way to the short target. Support. See the bullish cross? There's your support. Sent price all the way back up to the zone overhead. Resistance. That sent us back down to the short target. Through it, through that zone, and now this low right here, 61.54. This low right here, 61.53. That's a 1 penny difference. That's called market structure. Gold. We opened, attempted to run higher, didn't quite make it up to that bearish cross right there. Reversed pretty much like crude, came down to the BBC, found support, gave us a bounce. Okay, now when blue and climbing gets directly above price, it becomes potential resistance because it's probably on its way to becoming red and falling, which is bearish. And indeed, it did take us all the way down to the short target and even a bit lower. That low was 79.8. That low was 78. So support sends us to resistance at the zone in the BBC. Resistance sends us back to support at the short target. And notice this low is this low. Again, market structure. You look left as far as you need to. If price had continued lower, then you would be looking at this as potential support. Got it? Okay. So support sends us looking for resistance. So we get a leg, and we get a retracement, and we get a leg, and then we get a lot of consolidation. And we are approaching this bearish cross. Okay. The high so far, 3350.2, and this resistance should come in right at about 3352 if we make another move back up there. If we fail here, failing to hit this major resistance area, then we're probably headed back to the BBC. Notice the step line is directly above blue and climbing. Now on this move up, you can see that these two are parallel. Price, the black step line, blue and climbing, they were parallel. But now the step line is leaning right. It's directly above blue and climbing. Once it goes from the left side to the right side, that's when you should expect a retracement back to the BBC. Then it becomes a question of, does the pullback hold? We know it holds more often than not, no matter which direction it's pulling from. Okay, but we also know that even though it holds more often than not, eventually it will trade through. Will that happen here? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I do not have crystal balls. And silver, we are now in the N contract. Just like gold last night, it attempted to run higher, okay, but it never got to this potential resistance area here. It quickly reversed in the first 30 minutes and closed red. It was green and it was red, all in 30 minutes. We get to the zone, we consolidate, we get a leg and a retracement to pull back holes. That's resistance times 2. The zone and the BBC. So that sends us all the way down to the target. And we missed the zone by just a little bit. The low was 32.90. The zone was 88/89, so we missed it by 1 penny. Only takes 2 pennies to get your goal for the day. So support sends us to resistance. Resistance sends us back to support. Support sends us looking for resistance. Back to support. Consolidation at the zone. And then this move here took us all the way down to the short target to the tick. Now remember, everyone had these targets. All members and trial members had every one of these targets I've just shown you 2 minutes after the open last night. Now, look at all of these attempts to break through. What's this high? 33.23. If we break through it, and it actually looks pretty weak when you see that many wicks sticking up in the air, okay? That's pretty heavy duty resistance right there. But if we overcome it, there's room to get your goal from, say, 33.44 up to 33.48. That's 4 pennies. That would be $200 per contract traded. But there's been 1, 2 for 2 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4 30-minute candles where price got rejected right there. Okay, that's important. Would I go long into that? No. I want to see that substantially broken. And if all I catch is the last 2 pennies of this, that would be okay, right? Go for the day. All right, Michael should be here momentarily. Here's a last look at the daily chart. Not much has changed since we started an hour ago, almost an hour. But we first looked at the chart about 30 minutes ago. Like I said, it's kind of quiet out there. So we just have to be patient and see what happens. Okay. While we're waiting on Michael to become a member, go to mytradingiq.com, watch some of the videos, get an idea of what we're all about, and then send an email to support@cfrn.net. So let us know you want to become a member. We'll send you an email filled with information about what it means to become a passport holder, and there'll even be a link you can click to officially become a member. You're going to get 2 hours of live training every trading day. Interactive training. In other words, you're asking questions, you're trading along on your demo account as you learn the strategy, watching all the trades that are put on and taken off, and listening carefully to the commentary so that you actually learn the strategy. 2 hours every trading day. On top of that, as a passport holder, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder, are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, it doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. That's why it's so important that you learn how to read the chart so that you know where to expect potential support and potential resistance. In doing so, you reveal the windows of opportunity that lie in between. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You get the concierge trade alerts the second they're posted each evening. On Monday mornings at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. And you're able to attend the members-only workshop every Thursday night. Plus, you get the golden key that opens all the private channels in Telegram. When you're on the trial, you have access to the public channels, but once you become a member, you have access to all the channels. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Michael's arrived, so he's going to give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room.
I will.
And then do some live trading on the TradingView platform. And then I'll come back and wrap things up with our good word for the day.
All right.
Looks good.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 28th day of April, 2025. Now, if you have not taken a free trial of this and you want to, go ahead to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that purple button, it's going to bring you to this registration page where all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom is where you give us your TradingView login ID. We need that to get your charts running. Okay, if you don't have a TradingView login ID, click this link right here. It's going to bring you to this page. Just watch this little video. It's 3 minutes long. Watch that video. Click on this link and get yourself a TradingView login ID. That's really all you have to do to get a TradingView login ID. Okay, so we had a pretty good day today, but not as good as I wanted it to be, sadly. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, we made 204 ticks on the NQ, 50 ticks on the Russell, 31 ticks in gold, and 2 ticks on the ES. Today, it took 5 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $3,200 with 10 contracts on. So on the month now, we're at $33,347. It's over 17 trading days, averaging $1,961 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year, we're at $117,635 over 70 trading days, averaging $1,680 per contract per 2-hour trading day. If you were following the 24/20 blueprint and you quit trading when you got the goal for the day, so far this year, you would have only had to work 9 hours and you'd be up $29,772. You'd be trading 4 contracts right now, adding 1 per month. We're going to go to 5 by the end of the week. Now, again, this week, I'm going to be off on Thursday. So we're going to go to 5 on Friday, it looks like. So, yes, if you did all that and you worked those 9 hours and did everything just like I did, we have $29,772. Just following the 24/20 blueprint, averaging $3,301 per hour, $3,301 per hour. Now, let's get into the actual trades. And we didn't have a ton of trades today, so I'm just going to go left to right like I normally do. Okay, here on the gold, there was a considerable amount of chop today. We'll go all the way back to the beginning. All the way back to the beginning. Here we are. We started out with gold. Started out with the stop out on gold. It stopped us out pretty much to the tick, and then it went and did what it should have done. And then we didn't trade gold again for a little while, but we got over here. We got 5 ticks on that to get us to -10. After the first one, we were at -15. Then we're at -10. Then we were at +4. Then we went to +5. And then we didn't trade again until all the way over here. And we went to +19, and then we went to +31. And that is what, nope, I stopped at 31, but we had another one here at the end. I don't know what that was. Let me go see how much that was. Hang on. It was gold toward the end of the morning session. I don't know what the heck. Well, anyway, it was gold toward the end of the morning session. I can't seem to get my my trade order list to show right. So I wonder if I scroll that way if it does anything different. Nope, it doesn't. Anyway, we'll just forget what I don't know what I got on that. I think it must have been small, probably. I don't know. Anyway, during the break, when you blow the YBR, you're looking for conservative short trades would have been taking it when it comes out of the overbought right here. When you blow the YBR, all those trades seem to have worked out pretty well. And when you're above the YBR, you're taking it when it comes out of the oversold right here and right there. That's the first one that wouldn't have worked out very well. So there were some pretty good trades there on the gold. The gold was pretty active this morning. The Russell is the next one, and this is the whole day in the Russell right here. So on the Russell, we started out with a plus 15, and then we went to 30, then we went to 40, then I'm sorry. On the first trade, we were 45, and then we stopped out. So somewhere in here, we stopped out. Went from 45 down to 30. I didn't register some trades in here. We went from 45 down to 30, then went back up to 40, then we went to 60, then we went back down to 35. Okay, I'm starting to see the pattern here. Okay, so we had a 45. I don't know, a 4, a 5, a 30, 40. Then we got to 60, and then from 60 we stopped out. So we were at 60 right here. There's some trades missing in there, but we're at 60 ticks right here, and then we stopped out and went down to 35, and then we got 15 ticks over here and went back up to 50. And that was where we ended it for the morning session, it looks like. During the break, the trading was pretty quiet. On the 19 range, the trading was pretty quiet. You could have gone down to a smaller time frame. There would have been more trades available on a smaller time frame because it was trending pretty well. But that was it. We ended up with plus 50 on the Russell this morning. Okay, now the ES, we had just the one trade right here with 2 ticks. And that was it on the ES. Yeah, we just had that one trade there with 2 ticks on the ES. All right, so there was something that happened earlier this morning where I was looking around for the other ES trade and I couldn't find it. The NQ is where we had the majority of the trades this morning. And you can see here, if I hit control and back, you can see here our first trade on the NQ was good for 19 ticks. Then we got 75 on that one to get us up to 94. Then we had 6 ticks there to get us to 100. Then 4 ticks to get us to 104. Then I messed up this trade and I ended up stopping out 3 ticks. That brought us down to 101. Then I got a 75 on that one to get me up to 176. Then 6 ticks there to get to 3 ticks, I'm sorry, to get to 179. Then 75 there to get to 264. And then we stopped out on that one. Brought us down to 204 on the NQ. The NQ started to trend pretty well here during the break. When European markets closed, it was doing pretty well. You see the nice legs up and down and all that. It was pretty good trading. Overall, the NQ was all right today. All right. I don't know what the heck's going on with my Sierra chart trade list, but anyway, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, then go here to mytradingiq.com. Sign up for your free trial right here. There is no credit card required for the trial. Sign up for the free trial right there. When you sign up for the trial, it's going to bring you to this registration page, this one, where all that we ask for is your name, your email, and a phone number. Down here at the bottom gives you TradingView login ID. Okay, if you don't have one, click that link and follow the video. Get yourself a TradingView login ID, and then we will be able to show you all the trades on your desktop. Get your indicators indicating on your desktop. All right. All right, that is it. So now let's get in here and see if we can knock a couple of trades out. Okay. For those of you guys who are in here right now, I did make a video this morning. I don't know how long it was, but I made a video this morning. And last week, we created a new Telegram channel called TIQ Videos. All right. So the videos that I create in the morning, I'm going to try to stick them right in here so you guys can go and watch them. All right. So the video that I created today was about stuff I did this morning. I think we did one last week here, maybe a couple of them last week, 22nd, 23rd. Those are usually pretty good videos. They usually have some pretty good stuff in them. And this is the active passport. Jessica, I'm not sure if you're watching right now, but this is the one you sent me a screenshot of, the active passport holders group. The one that you actually need to be in, you should be in that one. This one right here is the one you need to be in. Okay, I'll see if I can copy that link and send it to you. Let me bring it over here and see if I can copy that link. I might not be able to. No, I can't. I can't. They didn't give me permission for that channel. So it's in the original email that was sent to you. Okay, when you're a passport holder, you get sent the email that's got all the links to all the Telegram channels you have access to. So it would be in that one. Okay. Okay. Well, it's a lot of information all at once. Okay, I'm glad you got it. Oops. So everybody should have that. You know, you and Tyler and Sean, you should all have that. And so still haven't heard from Hannah. Tyler did text me today. He's back from vacation, so we'll be looking to get in touch with him again. And Jerry contacted me today too, so that's good. I haven't heard from Hannah yet. Hannah's the one that I haven't heard from at all. Okay. Oh, she did? She got in there today? Okay. Okay. I did not see that go through. I'm telling you, Monday is the worst day for the emails because that's when everybody signs up and things get lost. But I'll look for it. I'll go in there and check it out and find it. Okay. Does she have a trading view? Okay, good. Well, I'll get in there. I'll get in touch with her today. And I know Sean wanted to find out when I can meet with him. Tyler wants to find out when I can meet with him. And you want to meet. So I don't know how productive it would be to have everybody meet all at once. You know, if it'd be more productive to do it one off, you know, one at a time. Because now you probably all have different things. You might all benefit from it. They might be the same things, but I don't know. If you want to do another group meeting like we did before. All right. So we really don't have anything going on here. We're above the YBR. We haven't made it into the oversold. We're below the YBR here. We haven't made it into the overbought. Below the YBR, we haven't made it into the overbought. Below the YBR, we haven't made it into the overbought. Not a lot happening in here. Let's go look out here. All right, so this is turning into a red day right here. Now that's not uncommon. The thing that is going to be significant is this is the blue spot that I drew in like 2 weeks ago. I drew this in and I said, if we get into that, we should have a pretty easy time moving up out of it. There's got to be there's got to be a catalyst. There's got to be something coming up that's going to move us out of that. And I don't know if we go here and look at the news for the rest of the week. We don't have any high impact news. Well, we have some on Tuesday. We have Jolt's job openings tomorrow. Wednesday, we have 80 plant. Oh, that's right too. It's the first week of the month, right? Yeah, we have big stuff at the end of the week. Big stuff at the end of the week. I'm not going to be here on Thursday, but we have high impact stuff on Thursday, and then Friday morning is the biggest high impact stuff. I'll be back on Friday. But yeah, Wednesday and Friday are the biggest high impact things this week. Okay. So there is some impetus to move the markets by the end of the week. Some catalyst, something to push it one way or the other. And that's really what we need. Everything's setting up. Okay. I will see what I can do. And Sean has a window that he can meet in. It's after 3:30 in the afternoon, usually. But it is a beautiful day out here today. I know. It's already out. We didn't go yesterday because yesterday Jada worked inside all day and I worked outside all day. And by the time we were done, it was like 7:30 at night. We were talking about going, just try to squeeze in an hour. But we decided to stay home. Get that to but today should be a day later. Let's see what happens. All right, so here on the gold, this is a short opportunity here on the gold. Now, let's look at the gold and do a little bit of analysis on the gold here. Okay, we're in some chop. So you could have done an aggressive short trade when it went into the overbought, or you could have waited for it to come out and done the conservative short trade. All right, I did the conservative one. Here it is. So now what it should do, oh crap, I'm gonna get out of this. Stop the break even, I'm out. I think I'm out. There, now I'm out. It just took me out of break even. I just realized. Yes. I should be looking for long trades here. Sorry, I got excited. Should be looking for long trades here. So I'm looking for it to pull back down here and give us an opportunity. Right. I managed to get a break even out of that. On the Russell, we need to come onto the overbought on that. And on the ES and the NQ, both, we need to come onto the overbought. Now, the crypto stuff was making a run for it over the weekend. I don't know what it's doing now. Here's SPX. Who was asking for SPX? Abe. So here, this is XRP. So XRP had a high today of 236 and a low of 231. It's positive right now. Okay. Look at that guy. This is on a daily chart. So this year, it had its high over here at $3.40. And overall, it's at a good spot to move up right here. It's at a good spot to move up. Bounce off of this right here at the midpoint. Move up here, prior swing high. And the leg length that is showing, those of you guys who care about this stuff, the leg length that it's showing is this right here. Okay, so that's where it should go up to about $4.50 over the next 6 months. We'll see. We'll see. That's going to have something that's going to be explosive. It's going to have a catalyst. It's going to make it jump a lot more, I think. All right, over here on the NQ right now, we need a down close. This is a pretty good spot for the down close over here because if I draw this for you, oops, I didn't mean that. If I draw this for you, you will see that a down close is going to put you right at that 50% marker right there. That'd be a perfect spot. If it closes up, that's not so good. And it did close up. That means the next one is going to close right here. Right? That's not so good. So now that it's closed up this much, you're at 100% retracement to this leg, right? So a down close from here would be an okay trade too, but I wouldn't expect it to get too much further than this right here to begin with. All right, what that means is when it gets here, you better tighten your stop. right? It's going to give you a trade here, I think, right there. Give us a trade right there. And when it gets down to this level, you're going to want to tighten that stop up. Okay. Here it is. And this level is right here at 280. That's not that far. That's just enough. This is when you get your stop to break even, basically. It's right when you're going to get your stop to break even. So this number's got to equal 50 for me to bump the stop. Okay. And let's just slide this off to the side here, and we'll do always on top like that. And the ES almost has a trade too. This has got a 60 tick stop on it. Okay, stop is right there at 60 ticks. So my stop is above the prior swing high. It's above the 100% retracement. It's where I want it to be. Okay. All right, it looks like it's probably going to stop me out. It's got to go down from here. If it goes up, it's going to get me. You see how it's in this chop right here? It just got me. So minus 60 on that guy. It looks like an okay trade to take right there. It should have been an okay trade to take right there. But it is what it is. We'll look for the next one. Over here now on the gold, we need that to pull back up, get into the overbought. Over here on the Russell, we need the same thing, the Russell and the ES. Okay. I just had a thought. All right. So on the ES right here, let's just do some quick analysis on this. All right. That is pretty much what you're looking at. So the thing that I'm thinking is you could be aggressive taking the short from right here. All right. That's what I did. Aggressive taking the short from right there. I totally forgot that I was on a 7 range too. I was on my DOM is set up for a 7 range. So I am going to lock in a point on this. I forgot I switched back to a 19 range. I'm going to lock in 2 points on this. But I took the aggressive short from right here. My DOM is set up with a 10 by 30 bracket. So this is 30 ticks down here, right? And we have 8 ticks locked in right now. And we're out with 8 ticks on the ES. So what I did there was an aggressive short from right here at the midpoint. Okay. And this is another one that's setting up over here on the gold. Let me draw it for you. It's actually from over here. Okay. So this, oops. So this one here, you might want to let it pull back a little bit deeper. Okay, it's giving you the trade right here, but it didn't print yet. There it is. Okay, so it didn't actually pull all the way out. It's down, but it didn't pull all the way out. I mean, you could take it if you wanted to, but I'm thinking let it pull back a little bit deeper and get it on the pullback in here. Okay. Somewhere like right here where your stop is going to be, above the midpoint right here. Okay. And hang on. Here. Stop break even. Plus a tick. Now it should go all the way down here. All the way down here to the prior swing low is what it should do. It's down there at 343. 343.0 all the way down here. Okay. But we're out with one tick on that. So we got 8 ticks here, 1 tick here, and minus 60 ticks over there. Is where we are right now. Interesting. That's weird. All right, it is 123, guys. 123. And this did end up going down after stopping me out. That's too bad. Yes, we already took the short there. The gold, we already took the short there. And we haven't gotten one yet on the Russell. So I'm just waiting. Anybody has any questions? Anybody answer them right now? You wrote it all morning, did you? From where, Jerry? And the larger time frame stuff. When it broke up above this level right here this morning, around 10 o'clock, it's been pretty bullish from there. It was pretty bullish getting up there too. Look at all that right there and there. The leg lengths moving up have been really good. What are we at on gold? Plus 31 ticks. We did have a stop out on gold. That's how we started off with a stop out on gold. All right. Well, here we are. $126. We have 3.5 minutes left. We don't have any trades here right at the moment. We had this one that we took a few minutes ago on the ES. The one that we stopped out on the NQ. I don't know if that was here. think it was here where we pulled us back and stopped us out right there, and then ended up going down a little bit anyway. The NQ actually had another one here a minute ago. So trade would have been right there. And the Russell's actually got one here for the aggressive if you want to take the aggressive trade. The leg lengths are kind of long, so it's a little bit risky. And the gold doesn't have anything right now. It should put in a lower swing for us right now. Okay. And we are back in the overbought over here, but we just flipped the YBR around. Okay, on the ES, you see that? So we're not looking for the shorting opportunity. Okay. And nothing else right now. Oh, I guess I did have something. I didn't realize I had shorted. I'd done the aggressive short here on the Russell. Okay, so I'm going to move that stop to break even. I guess I'll move to plus 20. Oops, nope, it didn't go. Move it to plus 20. There it is. All right, so this is a 45 tick stop. I mean, target down here. Sorry, 45 tick target. Here we got plus 20 on that. I did the aggressive short from right in here. I totally forgot I had done that. It's 25, 30. See, as it gets closer to the swing low right here, I want to trail my stop because it should find support right there. Okay, I want to trail my stop closer. So the swing low is at 48.1. It's actually all the way down here. But we're sitting at plus 30. It should probably hit the plus 45. Should. The gold just flipped the YBR there. 35. 40. So I'm going to get 40 or 45 here. Probably get 45. It's going to be down one more tick and go through it right there. It is right at the swing low. That one tick. There it goes. 45. All right, so we got the full 45 on the Russell. So that's good. We got a tick here, 8 ticks there, 45 ticks there, and minus 60 ticks there. Machine gun fire in the background? For me? Still? Or was it a few minutes ago?
Not hearing it here.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's no noise in the background here. All right. Well, that's going to be it, guys. So on the session right here, we made minus 60 on the NQ, plus 8 on the S, plus 45 on the Russell, and plus 1 or 2 or something like that on the gold. Not much. On the day, we ended up with plus $1,605 a contract overall. 204 on the NQ, 50 on the Russell, 31 on gold, and 2 on the ES. On the month, we're now at 33,347. So our best month of the year. This is our best month of the year. Our best month ever is 36,000. I think we got to get above that. I think we should be able to do that though in the next couple of days, hopefully. Anyway, with that, let me go out here. If you haven't taken the free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. Click the purple button. No credit card required. It's going to bring you to this page. Just fill it out. When you fill that out, you'll be sent all of the information you need to get into the room in the morning and to get your indicators indicating. Okay? That is it. With that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, and Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne is ready.
Yep. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 5 minutes and 3 trades to get to $3,200.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we've covered everything we need to cover. We'll take one last look at the daily, and we've dropped a little bit lower. Now remember, our support, the low of Friday, 54.80 and a quarter. Today's low so far, 54.92. Again, Friday's low, 54.80 and a quarter. And that's just above support times 2 at the BBC and the step line. So this is a perfect scenario where price comes down either to here, maybe even here. And then we have a turnaround Tuesday that takes us back to the 50% reverse fib. And then we have to think about taking out today's high, which so far 55.78.75, and we still have this gap over here that has to be dealt with. All right, I've already explained how to become a member. If you missed it, you can go watch it on YouTube, youtube.com/CFRN. Let's wrap it up with a good word for the day. Shake it off and move forward. Mark 6:11. Shake off the dust under your feet. Let's be honest. Each of us wants others to love, respect, and accept us. But when people are unready or unwilling to change, or haven't experienced the joy and fulfillment in Christ that you have, you will often experience rejection. Indeed, when you follow Jesus, rejection is guaranteed. What should you do? Well, here's what Jesus told his disciples to do. In whatever place you enter a house, stay there till you depart from that place. And whoever will not receive you nor hear you when you depart from there, shake off the dust under your feet as a testimony against them. So they went out and preached that people should repent. And they cast out many demons and anointed many with oil who were sick and healed them. That's Mark 6:10 through 13. When their circumstances change tomorrow, some of those who reject you today will be open and ready to receive what you have to share. People fear what they don't understand. Some even fight against it. So when you bump into people who will not receive you nor hear you, love them, pray for them, shake it off, and move forward. Don't allow those who are not ready to receive what you have to share keep you from taking it to those who are ready. One of Paul's first converts in Macedonia was Lydia. Know what the Bible says. The Lord opened her heart to heed the things spoken by Paul. She and her household were baptized. Acts 16:14. Try to remember this. You are the messenger, and the Lord is your heart opener. Do your part, and He'll do His. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.